Good morning. So we are continuing with the higher mind awakening, and I am let me just make sure I've got my volume up. I do. Okay, I'm so excited about this because we are starting on the chapter Atlantis. So I'm just interested to see what's going to come through today. Okay, so when you are fully anchored in the now, you are anchored in an organic timeline. And I think it's so interesting that that is the first sentence that comes out because, I'm being faced with some challenges right now. And I know that I'm really being asked to anchor in the now and not to project forward into a future that hasn't happened. And that is sometimes can be quite challenging for us. And I'm definitely being faced with that and having to really bring myself back, just check in with myself, just closing my eyes and breathing and bringing myself back into the now. So it's really interesting that it started with that today. And perhaps you're experiencing the same. Perhaps there's something happening in your life right now and it's pulling your attention forward into a future that's not happened, into a future that creates anxiety, rather than being anchored in the now where we are in the organic timeline. So we teach of the inorganic timelines in Angelic Pearls 144 and how many lights were seeded in these planes to help stabilize the grid of the universe. Those locusts started to multiply at such fast rates that we needed to send in more shield masters. However, for those masters to anchor, each of those incarnated warriors must help in collapsing the lower mind. The lower mind we speak of is the astral, the collective thought forms of the collective consciousness. This collapsing is happening for those who are not able to discern the organic realities from the inorganic, which will help them to finally exit the wheel of incarnation. This will also assist in the full bifurcation of the two minds. The two minds are also seen as the two suns, which got misconstrued to the two sons of God. So I'm just going to show you those diagrams there. And if you want to pause to have a good look at that. And I love that they've got the 288 at the bottom there because the 88 is so synchronistic for me right now. The fallen sun is about the inorganic sun created as the source of the inorganic timelines. These are the Atlantean consciousness fields. These fields exist in the linear Earth future, not the linear past of mankind, which I know from reading some of Zanita's work that's come through, that, Atlantis, we talk about Atlantis. Atlantis comes up a lot and we think of it as being in the past, but actually, according to this, it's actually in the future, and that actually makes sense to me. It doesn't actually surprise me to think of that being a timeline in the future, that we've come back from that future into the now to not realize that inorganic timeline. You cannot simply erase or destroy a hijacked timeline because by default you automatically destroy that which is organic. In the Melchizedek mandate, an agreement was that this node in time and space, the very sector where your consciousness exists now, many will come to help save the fractalized souls that fell during the explosion of the holographic inorganic Earth. This explosion is known as the fall of Atlantis. Atlantis does not occur on the organic timeline of Earth. This is a hijacked inorganic event that occurs on the infiltrated timeline. And that makes sense to me because, of course, on an organic, now that I'm becoming aware of this more and more, on the organic timeline, of course, we're not going to destroy ourselves and Atlantis. That has to be an inorganic timeline that is created for us. This is a hijacked inorganic event that occurs on the infiltrated timeline. So many souls incarnated here hold deep wounds of Atlantis. Since all in creation happens in the now, that fragmented part of your soul is calling out to you of this node in time for help. On a parallel node of time, you exist directly across from the point in time Atlantis falls. The hijacked timeline will continue to play out because one should never intervene with nature. When you balance your energetic bodies, work with the divine pearlescent, it helps you to step out of these mindsets and into your diamond pillar of Christos light. This then generates your very own grid of diamonds. that automatically transmutes any inorganic energy waves that come into your field. This is the meaning of the eye of the storm. A storm of energy can be whirling around you, however, it cannot harm you. Your very own Christos light is your guardian angel. And that's from Angelic Pearls 144, which you can find. I'll link part 1 at the end if you haven't watched those videos and read those books. They're absolutely amazing. The meaning of the fallen sun references a sun which is of a lower vibrational spectrum. Held within every sun is a seed crystal. This is the life force energy of that sun. It is from this crystal that arms of energy extend out to feed all life forms held within its toroidal field. For your local sun, this is known as a solar system. The way this inorganic crystal was created was through absorbing Christos energy from other seed crystals. In every angelic being there is a light seed which is given by God's source at the moment of creation. It is from this seed that light can emit out to all fractals that descend from it. For example, your seed crystal is with your pearl essence monad oversoul. It feeds light through your multi-dimensional DNA strands into all fractals aspects of itself. Around these strands is a plasma diamond sheath. Some of these sheaths were tampered with, creating a vortex within them. This vortex allowed energy to flow from it, like a stream from a river. The new stream of light was fed into a new source. In this case was the inorganic sun. It is this sun that we call the Atlantean consciousness. From this, many technological timelines were created. This plasma cord connects to your 9th chakra and is the connection for your consciousness. Then we've got a little diagram here, and I'm going to read what it says on that diagram. The magic lily expands when the 9th chakra ignites. It is in that moment that DNA upgrades occur from the gold dust that flows into your spine. The gold dust is your Christos energy pollen. It is what houses creator software. They do not mean literally, but using as a vibrational likeness. Without this software, one is unable to access Christ codes. These are codes that can be used to create blueprints, grids, matrices for materialized worlds. Then we've got Atlan, mind. The Atlantis field can be seen as an infinite mirror of labyrinths. These are fed from a portal that connects to the organic grids. There's another diagram there. The sheath claw seen in the image is what connects into your multidimensional DNA to harness the Christos energy. It also places the ego mind insert. The ego mind, as we have disclosed in the Pearl Code teachings, is inorganic. This is an unseen energy that was part of an anchoring from the inorganic Atlantis planes. So I'm just going to have a sip of coffee before I move on to this next part, because Archangel Metatron speaks. Okay. Just center. Archangel Metatron speaks. When it comes to that which is known as Atlantis, this is deeper than the mortal mind can comprehend. Atlantis is not a land or a physical place made of earthly elements. Instead, it is a consciousness field that holds a technological vibrational core. Source can be seen as the mind, and all of existence is merely a thought form. The original thought and the flow of the vibration is a timeline. There are those who oversee these thoughts timelines to make sure they stay in alignment with the divine will. Divine will simply is a spoken word of Source God. However, if energy within a thought form wants to merge from the organic flow, then it causes what is known as an inorganic timeline to form. This newly formed path has created a new entry point, portal, gateway, where the energy that flows down the organic path can veer off. This is like a river who has newly formed streams running from it. Since inorganic energy and technology was created in slightly higher worlds, it is not stabilized. For it to become stabilized, it needs to have an anchor point in the densest fields. When this new energy is anchored at the dense fields of existence, it allows more force to flow into the higher worlds. Atlantis is an inorganic, time-space reality that terminated within itself due to the unestablished energetic patterns. For it to become more stabilized and hold more force, it needs more chaotic energy. This energy is created when souls become fractalized, which starts the seeded chaotic thoughts. The mission occurring now is to place a dam door where the stream connects to the river. As you see, this means traveling backwards in time to where it was created. This is how we can best explain the creation of Atlantis occurring in the linear future. Because where you all reside is at this connection point. You can see this divide in your existence today, the bifurcation stage. Interesting, right? And it is so, right? This is why Atlantis is so prevalent for us right now, because deep down we realize that we've come back here to this point to actually stop that, or maybe change that, because obviously I don't really know how it works, but really just make that not a reality, and bring back those soul fragments, bring back wholeness. When you raise your consciousness, it helps to raise the DNA lineage you incarnated into, both forwards and backwards in time. We call this paragenetics. What this is doing is helping to heal any damaged DNA that is in those lines. Since the combined DNA of the collective is what the Earth grid feeds from, this directly affects its timelines, meaning when the DNA is upgraded in vibration, so too are the timelines. The reason elect souls came to incarnate at this now time node is to help anchor this higher DNA energy. In order to assist with upgrading the DNA of the collective, the solar ones came. This is the bloodline of the organic sun. When they came into this system, they passed through a solar gateway that created a solar body able to house those solar codes. By bringing their light seed and these codes into a human form, it helped to upgrade DNA held within the body. They also were able to filter through the body and their light body these solar codes. These codes fed into the surface Earth grid lines and into her inner seed crystal for upgrades. This helps to fully anchor her crystal to the organic grid system. Zenita says, for the complete teachings on the solar tribes, please read Angelic Pearls 144, which I'm going to link at the end. But I really do encourage you to purchase the book as well. Like I always say, and you'll hear me say on it, it's important to support the authors. If you're getting value out of these books, out of these readings, which I'm sure you are, and you're in the position where you can, then, you know, I really do recommend it. You know, you really energetically infuse into that. There is something that through reciprocity, through the act of giving and receiving in balance, that we all benefit from. When you experience a higher mind awakening, it is collapsing the ego mind. This causes the vibrational field of your mind to expand and raise. When you interact with another living being, man, animal, nature, etc., it helps to raise their awareness as well. In some cases, your light bodies exchange codes. A higher octave light body will communicate codes to the other that will seed into their subconsciousness. When they reach the vibrational frequency key code to access that code, then it will ignite like popcorn into their consciousness. This can also work on the negative spectrum. If you are interacting with someone who has those locusts swarming around them, they can come to your field and try to lower your vibrations through thoughts. This again can only occur if the emotional body holds any particles with a like vibration of those negative thought forms. An example of this is when you are feeling great but then get a phone call from someone who unloads their emotional baggage onto you. When you hang up the phone, you feel a sudden drop in your energy. You know, I'm sure we've all experienced that. If you feel sudden fatigue, then it is because you took into your light field those locusts and transmuted them. This is something to be mindful of, because the other person is subconsciously emotionally dumping. If this is done too often, it can cause your light body to lower in vibration. This is why psychic mediums and healers have it hard. They are selflessly helping to transmute particles in others' emotional bodies, both alive and departed. Having conscious mindfulness is going to be your biggest support during this process. Take time for stillness, reflection, and gratitude for yourself. Yeah, I think that's so important. To take the time for stillness and also to have gratitude for where you are, everything you've achieved, because it's so easy for us to put so much pressure on ourselves and feel overwhelmed, and that moves into anxiety rather than just being in the now. And this is something that I have to anchor into also. Mind crystals. Every creation in existence has mind crystals. The universal mind is an extension of 144 of them, known as the 144 universal suns. Since this mind is, and it says again, see Angelic Pearls 144, since this mind is of such a high vibration, it is invisible in your current plane. Your local sun is fed indirectly from this mind. Earth is fed from the local sun through a diamond cord that is anchored in her core. In her core is a plasma diamond sun known as her heart crystal. The light from her heart crystal emits out, and as it densifies, it creates physical crystals. These crystals are the materialized form of planetary neurotransmitters. These are the messengers of the mind that carry light transmissions. Each crystal is designed to carry specific vibrations, which are coded light transmissions. Learning how each spectrum of creation carries light particles, imagine them densified into crystals. This can help you to understand why they are unlimited crystals. When we speak of crystals, we are also speaking of all metals, rocks, and seashells. Seashells are extremely high in vibration. Many of you coded them long ago with information for this time node. Andara crystals. Andara crystals are glass-like, high vibrational crystals that became known in the 1990s. They emerged because the collective had reached a vibrational frequency to receive them. Each time the consciousness grid is raised, it has entered a new density. This allowed beings such as Andara crystals to coexist in your reality. These are connected directly to the suns of Venus, Pleiades, Andromeda, and Sirius. Let us state that there are many types of Andara crystals, and only one species has emerged thus far on your planet. A new one will emerge in the next vibrational grid octave. So that says it is between now to 2025, autumn 2023, autumn 2024. Many new crystals will emerge. Many feel a connection to the Lemurian consciousness because of their frequency. As you learn in love letters from Lemuria, Lemuria is not one place. It is a consciousness expression that exists in multiple dimensions. It also is not expressed in this universe, but stems from the Marana universe. When an attempt to infiltrate that universe occurred, these light transmissions were brought here by the solar tribes and elect souls directly from Venus. They were time-locked and coded to emerge with select keys. Remember, the keys to access light codes are a specific vibrational frequency. These can be likened to binary codes for a computer. One person can hold a crystal and access limited information, while another can hold and access unlimited information. This is because of the key code access one has access to, which again is determined by their vibration. Most of the ones found today are coded to activate DNA for the higher mind awakening stage to become engaged. Some will even notice head pain after holding these crystals. It is due to the information being streamed through the myelin axons found in your brain. These are streaming light into your peripheral and central nervous system. This then causes sensations in the spine due to the upgrades occurring for your DNA. Some have keys to access information directly from the universal sun located in Marana from these crystals. These are going to be those who are completely clear. You can tell this by your first interaction with them. When you connect with them, they will show you the blue diamond sun. It is from there that you can access the codes. This is done because all crystals are connected like a web, multidimensionally. They are DNA for all mind crystals, each one connected to their own spectrum. All quartz is connected to their own webbing. All emeralds to their own. So then it says Atlantis crystals. Atlantis crystals are clear Andara crystals that are currently found in the caves of Arkansas, USA. They have... Oh, hold on. Here comes Minnie. All right, darling. They have only found select ones, however. An influx is about to occur. The crystal's energy harnessed and used to create the Atlantis timeline. So look, yes, I do see you, darling. She just wants a little bit of attention. Just give me a little second to just give her a little attention. Okay, darling. Why don't you sit and watch, eh? Why don't you sit? Sit down, sweetie pie. The energy we speak of are only of the stream selected by God's source be returned. What occurred is when those timelines failed, the energy from the Atlan mind crystals were rescued and placed in those crystals. It is because of this connection that many feel an essence that belongs to a soul in them, only as a soul fragment. This is because it was dedicated to this time node and grid system, so it can be returned to that soul. This happens in 3 ways. The soul is incarnated and the crystal is brought into their field through their light body. The energy is retrieved, healed, recycled. Number 2, the grid worker is able to access the energy of the crystal caves to retract the soul essence and return to source through one of the God portals. 3, crystals are brought into the field of the incarnated 144144 for them to either send home to God's source or give to the soul incarnated. That's interesting because just what keeps coming into my mind is these 2 kind of like glass crystals that I collect, that I got this year when I was in Panama on this little beach, and I was just drawn to these 2. One of them was green, one of them was clear. I've got the clear one. The green one I actually gave to my godson Jack. He just came into my mind. I just felt guided to give him that, and it's making me wonder if it is one of these Andara crystals that came forward. What most are doing with Atlantis crystals is helping to balance the timelines. This is mostly not done consciously. Remember those beautiful diamond sparkles around you? It is those sparkles that are recoding those crystals. This in turn is streaming energy into those timelines. What it is also doing is helping to place caps where the stream connects to the river. What we mean here is closing inorganically designed portal systems. Crystal portals. Crystal portals are created when 2 beings are interacting. This can mean you speaking with another incarnate or an interdimensional being. The energy from the mind crystals start to extend and lace together for an exchange of information. This is how your guide spirit team can send you images via clairvoyancy and telepathy. In order for this process to run smoothly, both mind crystals must be clear. If it is not clear, then the message will be static. Think back to what Metatron taught of the light spectrum emitting from a crystal clear pyramid. When it comes to you interacting with another human, if one is unbalanced, then it can also cause static or friction to occur in the energy field. This will trigger sudden irritation and annoyance. It is at that moment we suggest a step back to reflect on yourself. If you are the one who was triggered, it also means that the one who felt stronger static has a blockage in their energy field. This is going to be either in their emotional or mental body. This is why you have those interactions in the first place. People and events are ignited to help bring awareness into your field. It's simply up to you to notice it. Absolutely. You know, I say this a lot in my teachings, in the work that I do with my clients. So I'm just going to pull this down a little second. in the teachings that I do with my clients, that, you know, every interaction that we have is an opportunity for us to learn, grow, and expand, to heal something within us. Because when we are being triggered, it's just like what Zanita is saying in here. It is a mirror reflection. It's showing a wound that we need to heal. But I'm going to leave another video about one that just, boom, came into my consciousness really powerfully due to an interaction that I'd had with my dad. There was a chain of events that led to that. You know, it started with me being really vulnerable and open with my mum and dad about a situation that I was in, which normally I wouldn't have been, because I would have felt guilt and shame about it. But I was just open and vulnerable with them about it. And then that led to my dad feeling worried about that situation and contacting me and being open and vulnerable about something. And it just triggered this awareness to pop up really consciously into my consciousness. And like I say, you know, what is in the subconscious, we have to make the unconscious conscious in order for us to heal it and transmute that and integrate. Otherwise, that unconscious pattern is going to be actually directing our lives. And it's going to be bringing many experiences into our lives that echo that unconscious pattern in order for us to heal it. And, you know, and I am just working on a really deep generational wound there in my lineage to heal. So I'm going to leave that video at the end for you. I think it'll be relevant given what's just come up in this book. These crystal portals are also active when you connect with crystals, animals, trees, elements, etc. Everything around you are living consciousness beings. It is the power of the mind that can communicate with them. The elements are easy to speak to because they are what your form is made from. When you are in water, take time to connect your heart and mind to it. Feel yourself become it and it become you. Allow this connection to play like a movie reel in your mind. Do not think, just be and allow the water to speak to you. Do this with a tree. Place one hand on its trunk and another on your heart. Close your eyes and unite with it. Send it love and feel it vibrate love to you in return. It is rarely that you will hear words or a voice. It is simply through the vibrations we emit to your mind crystals that send those signals of information to you. Just remember that the more balanced your energy field is, the clearer your channels will be. So I'm going to leave it there, and that's so true. Now I do that all the time now in the forest. I go to the forest quite a lot, and I put my hand on the tree and I hold my heart and I just close my eyes and I just breathe in, and I imagine as I breathe out that I'm breathing out love into the tree. And I also do actually say in my mind, I just say hello to the tree. I ask the tree to send my love to all of the forest, to all of the plants, to all of the animals, to all of the nature spirits, to all of creation within the forest. I just breathe in, and I can often feel energy start to vibrate up my legs. You know, sometimes I have more intense experiences than other, but even if I don't necessarily feel or perceive anything, I know that I am connecting to the tree and that something later will come to me or come into my awareness. And it's just so beautiful. You're just creating this conscious relationship with nature again. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and I'll see you on the next one.